Hi, everyone. This is Jules with Starcaster Radio, and I have Naomi and Barbara and Erica here today as we are just sending out a huge hug as we step onto the New Earth platform and creating heaven on earth. And we are going to start today with the new human activation, and then we will move on to some just exciting and wonderful things that we want to share with you all today. So if you all want to just take a moment and shut your eyes and just connect to the frequency of creating the new human in the new earth. In this moment we call now is the gateway to our new earth reality. We step onto the new earth platform, becoming the new human. Our DNA strands are of magnetic and multidimensional spherical matrix systems. Our DNA hold a measurable number of cellular activity that is changing our carbon body into luminous body. From the first particle of existence to this time and place called now, we ask to merge our 5 light bodies and become the body of one, united and pulsing in the heart of Source, connecting to the magnetic pulse of the heart of the earth. We beat as one, connecting to the heart of the divine cosmic grid. We beat as one. In this connection, we release density and absorb the living light into every cell, both carbon and luminous, advancing the biosphere into the body of divinity, merging the 12 time-space grids into one. We are the new human. We are the children of light. We are the physical family that holds the light of the universe and beyond, allowing the angelic blueprints to function in the flesh. Attuning the biological rhythms, we become the vessel of the living, light, vibrating molecular structure through the ascension, creating the sacred seal of the conscious body. We walk as the new human. We walk as the children of light. We live as the new human. We live as the children of light. We love as the new human. We love as the children of light and create heaven on earth. It is so. Okay, so let's move on to Barbara. Barbara, would you like to read?
Yes. I'll be reading from, let's see, it's page 263, chapter 210. And it starts out, this key of the Paradise Sun creation tells us that the higher evolution is coded within the people who are known as the true Israel. This Israel is not physical, historical, or ethnic. It is the Israel of all vibratory levels of light energy used in the programming of the human consciousness. I think I've read this one before, but I don't know if I read it in this group. But anyhow, I'll move on. It seems to be the right one. The Keys uses the words true Israel, just as the great teachers of Kabbalah have spoken of the Veritas Israel. This is the spiritual Israel, which is a peoplehood that is not clinging to one tradition or prophecy, nor working with one Alpha Omega cosmology. Israel is the peoplehood of all great mind dimensions of the Father. The key tells us that the true Israel is also known as the children of light. They are the children who express different light emanations, yet work with the seventh ray of creation. They are a people with one divine purpose who contend with God until victory. They are a people who are the light continually. which with this light, they continually transform the material side of creation to be in accordance with the will of the Father. They do this by demonstrating the higher spiritual truths proclaimed to all people. For this reason, they are the remnant seed upon our planet, for they are remnants of the higher Adam-Kadmon race sent to Earth. They are the scattered remnant of the mind energies of the Adamic society from other aeons of time. This race was brought to Earth to evolve a higher thinking intelligence and give linkage channels to new orders of evolution. Since that time, the Sons of Light and the Great White Brotherhood have sustained the true Israel throughout all generations of man. And I think that's a good place to stop. So
I just love how it ties into the astrology. Like,
yes.
I'd like to pick up from there with the astrology, because right now we're entering into a lunar cycle of Cancer, and Cancer represents home and family, and not in the physical form that we understand home and family. So in a way, it gives us a longing, and life will reappear in a gentle way towards nature and tranquility, and the idea of us becoming one. And so it's the perfect time right now, astrologically, to just get calm and to build our own inner strength, to reinforce our inner body. And in doing so, it's going to give us these impulses or these experiences where we can't stop talking to one another, or we can't stop connecting or caring. And even if an issue or something that presents us is scary, we're just driven to connect to the bottom and the source and the root of it, so that we can together become one. It asks us to step into our soul and be brave with our actions, because we're actually entering a time where our soul is evolving. And now staying stuck in the past no longer works. We have to move forward. And in order to move forward, we lead by example. And so for anybody out there right now feeling this lunar shift into Cancer, and with the moon and the powers of the moon, you know, I feel like lately a lot of these astrology readings have been moon based. But what I just really understand is that a lot of that moon stuff is that it affects water, it affects the oceans and the tides. And we as humans are 80% water. So it's going to affect us, and we're going to feel the pull of the moon. So during these next couple of weeks, just bask in the glory of the lunar cycle and of the moon in Cancer, and connect to your soul and connect to your home, your original root and source.
I just have this big yes through everything that you just said, Erica. And, you know, I had a client reach out to me yesterday and said that she could feel that the ocean in the body of one has shifted. And we kind of shared a little bit about just the shift that I have been feeling, and the vision that I'm getting is connected to the core of the earth. And so the core of the earth has lost part of its, how do I say this? Magnetic pull. So it's like the pulsation has, I don't want to say expanded, but it has opened and connected to, you know, this new cosmic grid that we are creating right now. As we move into the new earth, our consciousness is creating a higher matrix, a new grid work, and these two are connected. And and so what's happening is that as our grid work is raising in frequency, because we are evolving in consciousness, this magnetic pull is lessening. And by doing that, you know, not only is the ocean and but our physical bodies are expanding more and allowing more light to come in. And I really believe, and that's why I wanted to do this activation today, is I feel like this is just, you know, part of the process as we move into our luminous body. And this process of magnetism is only one part of it. Naomi, did you want to add to that?
Wow. Well, first, that was just such a beautiful activation. I just loved it, and I love always getting to hear it for the first time. So that was beautiful. And the Keys of Enoch, Barbara has read that again, but it tied in exactly to this activation. And Jules, you said the children of light, and that was in the Keys of Enoch. So that was just so beautiful. And then with the astrology, so I just feel the whole download so strongly of this session with the tide and the moon that we were referring to.
That just gives me chills just all over my body. And I don't know if you remember this, but I think we've talked about this before, Naomi, about in my book, we were told that we were going to go through 5 bodies. And so that's why I wanted to add in this activation that, you know, I believe that we're not supposed to really have like the mental body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, the physical body, but we're supposed to be one body. So you're so good at creating just like downloads and stuff, but I would love to do something today where we just ask that all our bodies merge into one luminous light, and that there isn't this separation between our emotions and our mental and our spiritual, but we're just one state of being, and they all are so interwoven that it just merges us into that one state of consciousness or into oneness. Does that make sense?
Oh,
Yes.
it does. As you were speaking, I can already see the visualization.
So I'm just going to put my hands in our hearts. And would you mind, Naomi, just doing a little download with that?
I would love to. So, standing on the golden New Earth platform, golden for being the highest conductor of energy. We're standing on the golden New Earth platform that's on the ocean. The ocean is under us. We're standing on a golden platform on the ocean, and above us is the moon. And the moon is connecting us to our home. And as the moon reflects down on us, it brings our body into one luminous light. And we just breathe in one luminous light, and we exhale, sharing this frequency of home with all, a heaven for all. And if we just want to take a few moments and just feel the moon connecting us to home and the light, connecting us to the one luminous light, and just breathe it in and gift it, just share it out. And you actually feel the waves and the tide pushing in towards you and then pushing out, sharing it. And as we do this, we can actually start to feel the rhythmic waves inside of our heart, bringing us to the rhythm of the earth.
I was just going to share that, Naomi. My heartbeat changed.
When I breathe out, it's you know, like when I'm bringing the energy in, but when I'm bringing it out, and I love how you say you're gifting it, but there's so much expansion in that, and it literally, it's almost like everything around me has changed in frequency. Like the trees are sparkling, and I can just really feel how, you know, doing this is really creating the new earth. So I can visually see the shift. You know, and I think that, yeah, as we like continue to go through this, and there's such a big shift right now as this magnetic pole is lessening and we're more suspended in space. I feel like what this is doing is not only assisting our bodies to shift into the luminous, but it's also such an amazing time to connect to our highest grid work of manifestation. And, you know, more so than ever, our dreams can come true because we aren't being weighted down by this carbon imprint anymore. We are shifting into the light. And so the less density we have, the more we are capable of truly becoming the new human and creating the new earth. And I just think that, you know, it would be so much fun for us over this next week to just play with something that we would like to manifest from the place of love and connect to, you know, this higher cosmic grid, and then just allow this magnetism to let go of the density and really propel us into what it is to manifest on the new earth. I just think it would be so much fun for us all to do something like that.
Beautiful.
Sounds good to me. I have plenty of things I need to manifest, I can tell you that for sure. So it might be hard to pick which one.
You know, the message I'm getting is it's just going to be easier and easier. And the other part that, you know, I think I realized this yesterday is that if you're trying hard to evolve and to be on the spiritual path, you got to stop. We are like, that is such an old paradigm, in that it is not hard. It's happening regardless if you're trying or not. And it's almost like that effort of trying so hard to make something happen is just holding you back. So for me, I'm just like, I'm just going to stay open. You know, we're in this place where we're literally floating between two worlds, and we are just connecting to higher and higher timelines, living this multidimensional life. And that is not hard. It's, you know, it's our concept of having to try hard in order to ascend that is almost keeping us from ascending. I would love to hear what you guys have to think about that.
It's true. It's old programming. It's all it is we're erasing old programming. And as we step into the New Earth platform and in different multi-dimensions, there's no such thing as programming.
Yes, and I have to remind myself of that truth every day, because you become entrenched in your daily activities, and before you know it, you're all wrapped up in that old programming and expectations, and, you know, especially when you're around family. Family really triggers that, but within that thought pattern too, family is what really teaches you to step outside of that old programming. And when you do, you feel very accomplished that you have recognized that you were actually participating in an old programming.
This reminds me, Jules, of the seed of the soul. And the last line is, it isn't the way, it just is. And if you guys would like, I'd love to read it to you.
Yes, please.
Yes, please, yes.
Okay, I think this is my favorite writing you've done, Jules. The seed of the soul. The seed planted in the heart of the soul, misplaced by the rhythm of life, inside the unknown space, finding the light, breath in the knowingness, figuring the rhythm, figuring the rhyme, finding the rhythm to the beat of the earth. Drum, drum, the animals speak, the trees breathe. The hole in the ground swallows up the life of all that is, bringing us to the level of one. You are me, me you, sparkling as a star, reaching across the veil that separates us, waiting for the sky to open and let in the information that is stored inside the light of the universe. Downloading the code of eternity, holding your heart, hear my voice, feel the presence in the cells, in the DNA. The questions are answered in the void. Don't fear the blackness. It's all that ever was. A galaxy that holds you, holds me, holds knowledge, power, and wisdom. It isn't the way, it just is.
I could really feel the Council of Light come in as you were reading that. It was really powerful. Thank you, Naomi.
So I think oh, go ahead, Barbara.
I was just going to say it always stirs the emotion in me.
Oh, I know. It is just so beautiful. Well, how about this week? I think the homework I'm going to do is just really focus on it isn't the way, it just is. Because that line alone is so transcending for releasing old programs.
Yeah. That's beautifully said. I think that's a great thing to think about and to keep in mind as we move through the week.
And I think that it also just, that's the paradigm that we're moving into, or that we're here and we're just starting to figure out, is that we don't get to know the way anymore. We don't get to, I don't want to say have a plan, but the plan is just moment to moment. There isn't this long place of like, oh, this is how I'm going to go from here to there, because that there has, it doesn't have an energetic imprint to connect to yet, because the only way that we can get our manifestation to a higher level than where we are now is to pave the way moment by moment, or, you know, like I always say, like follow the breadcrumbs. And that truly is the new way of not only living, but manifestation, is that, you know, we can have this thing of like, oh, we're going to manifest, you know, something really big, but we still have to do breadcrumb by breadcrumb in order to get there. So it's not so much focusing on the big picture, but focusing on the next right step. And it's that focus and attention that really is the new earth creation. So like, I love that it isn't the way, it just is. And that just is, you know, fully embracing the moment that we're in now and just doing the next right step and just seeing that as a moment to moment. I guess another way of saying it is like unity thinking or oneness, where we're in the now in each breadcrumb that we're given.
I remember a long time ago when I first started on this journey. I don't even know when that was, but it seemed like I've always been on it. But nevertheless, I was meditating one day, and I heard this voice say in my head, live in the now. And it was the first time I'd heard that. And I remember contemplating, thinking, what does that mean, live in the now? I thought I was living in the now. But as time moved on, I realized I was far from living in the now. And each day I try to practice that. And when I feel myself going off in some direction of earthly thought patterns, like I did this morning, and I couldn't go back to sleep, I had to really talk to myself and tell myself, you're not living in the now. You're living in the probabilities, which has no, which has no meaning. It has no validity. So it's just something that I think that is the whole key, and it's a simple thing, but learn to live in the now.
So if I may add, when we catch ourselves not living in the now, let's picture a golden pyramid and place it in where that thought came from, just to bring awareness to living in the now.
I
Yes.
love that.
Yes, I do too.
So I'm just going to imagine a pyramid over my head right now
Mm-hmm.
and just amplify the part of my mind and the part of my brain, the part of my heart that is wired to the experience of the now. It's funny that I almost feel like our bodies are wired to resist that. And so I'm just going to also ask to allow my body to let go of the need to know why and how, and just to rewire that, the fight or flight response of needing to be safe when I'm already in a safe place.
That feels good.
Yes.
That's really powerful. I feel a lot of that in my solar plexus. I think that that's, part of the wiring that is going to start to release more and more as we move out of just that primal programming and evolve into this expansion of the consciousness that we're not only like awakening to, but as our sacred codes, our dormant DNA start to activate and awaken, it's going to also awaken just our experience of life. And it's so beyond the mind, but I feel it and I see it, and I'm just so excited. It's just such an exciting time. And I keep going back to this magnetic pull thing, but I think it's so much more powerful than I can even like comprehend. And again, I'm just going to go back to this place of like playing with manifestation. And what I think I'd love to do is come up with something that all of us can do together, and it just make a global shift by the intention of just having you guys can help me with this, but what our intention could be as a group, a Starcaster group, could be that every interaction that we have in this next week be from love and above. How does that sound?
Oh, I love that. Soul meets soul.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. We are one.
The reunion of light.
I love it. Wow, I think I don't even know what else to say. That just like really is going to be so much fun and so powerful, but I like already can feel like this huge paradigm shift just not only, you know, like we have our paradigm shift as an individual, but the paradigm shift as a collective consciousness. And this is just even if it's just, you know, 50 or 60 or 100 of us, that it is amplifying tenfold.
And it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today is the first day, excuse me, today is the first day of the rest of our life.
Which is eternal.
Right. Because we are the seed.
I love that. Gosh, well, I just feel like closing with this visualization of just soul meeting soul, like from love and above, heart meeting heart. So we can all just visualize that and connection to each other and beyond.
Yes.
And perfect. And if any of you have an experience you would like to share, you know, please email us. You can find our email on infinitegold.com, and we'd love to hear about your experiences of manifesting soul to soul in this next week. Would one of you want to do a closing prayer?
Barbara?
What? All right, I will.
No pressure.
No pressure. All right. Okay. As we close our eyes and feel the presence of the one light surround our bodies and give us warmth from within, we ask that in this next week that we practice the truth of knowing and acknowledging that we are all one. And in that knowingness, that we will respect and honor every soul that we meet and share that love with that soul. And in knowing that truth, we will be expanded tenfold and more. And with sharing that love and that knowledge, it will carry us through this lifetime into the new earth and rejoining all the other points of light, going forward towards the one light, our Creator, the all-powerful, the knowingness that we will always be just one light. And it is so. Thank you.
So. Thank you, Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
And we just send you all a great big hug until next week, and namaste.
So much love.
So much love. Bye-bye.